Siege Jetfire. Hasbro did a pretty good job. Yeah, it has its problems, but it's a solid figure. This and much more on the RobPod podcast. So, today we're going to talk about a little bit about the Siege Jetfire from Transformers. And I gotta say, this figure is really, really nice. Downside, no ankle tilt. There's none. It has a folding, but that's for transformation. Otherwise than that, this is a pretty good solid figure. He looks actually badass with the face plate. I like the face, the armor plate face, whatever. He looks more like he should. The effects that they give you are a ton of effects. I love it. I really, really, really love this guy. He's just a tiny bit shorter. There's the effects. They look pretty cool. He has the effects for the front. I think there's 6 effects, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I threw the rest of them into my accessories bins, but it was a good figure. For $70, I don't mind. He's just a tiny bit smaller. I would say maybe a head and a little bit more from Deca's Siege Jetfire, which is Kronos. But really do like the armor plating on him. I like it. A lot of people are different. It's your toy. You don't like it. You don't want it. Then put it away. Put it aside. Whatever. But he's a solid figure. I like him. I really do. He's going to look great when I get him into the display case, because I'm still waiting for some things, and I'm working on stuff over there, and that'll happen. Now, I have a bunch of Gundams behind me that I was supposed to do many, many moons ago, and I never got a chance. And the reason why I have so many Gundams just sitting here collecting dust in their box is because I haven't had time, and I'm doing 9 million freaking things around here, and I have some possibly good news. I'm crossing my fingers that you will find out eventually once I announce and come out with it, but there's something going to be happening. Hopefully tomorrow's D-Day. That's all I got to say. But I have an idea of maybe doing some live streams of me building or just recording them, either or. I got 2 6-foot cables, extension cables for USB, and I can move this camera now anywhere. 12 feet, plus the 6 feet that they give, so that's 18 feet. I can move it anywhere, which I'm hoping to do in the future. I'm going to be able to put the camera over on the toy side, and we can do the toys and blah, 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 and I burped. But I know I'm late, and I've been doing 9,000 things. I was supposed to have this up on Saturday. That didn't happen. With 4th of July, with me doing power washing and painting the fence, which is just taking me forever because there's 42 panels. I got to do both sides. You got to power wash both sides before you start staining it or paint staining it. That's what we're doing this time. We're going to be doing it a Cape Cod Gray, and it's kind of like an off-white. It's a very light gray, but with more white overtones, if you want to call it that way, or whatever. But it's called Cape Cod Gray, and that's what we're doing our fence. And I have 48. I think it's 48, including the doors, both sides. That's like 90-something, freaking 96 panels. It's like me doing. So I've been trying to do that. And on top of it, this weekend, my steps decided to be water rotted. And they were. Like, I didn't notice it. And then all of a sudden, a big hunk of it fell from the one step. And then the step was kind of like doing this every time you would step on it. Now, that's a dangerous thing. When we looked underneath of it, there was a lot of water damage, which means either the step runners were just poorly made, or they were cheap, or they were, not treated for, water damage and such, but whatever. But that's getting done now. And today we started that later today, which today is Sunday, and you guys are probably seeing this either Monday or Tuesday or sometime later. Yeah, that was a lot of freaking work. And then tomorrow I'm going to be doing the fence, more of the fence, spray paint, not spray painting, but power washing it. So yeah, it's just insanity for me. But yeah, I was thinking, honestly, that we would be doing some Gundam. I have 5 of them right as of now, and I did have them back in the day. Back in the early, I would say late 90s, early 2000s, they were doing the Gundams in Toys R Us, and they only came in like little boxes that were, I don't know, like something like ye big. They were like rectangle-ish, and the figures were like very small. I'd say the height of them would come up to about the thigh of his, so 6 inches maybe, 5 inches. So I remember doing a ton of those. I had like 20 or 30 of them. Gave them away when I moved because it was just, they were falling apart, half of them. So I gave them to somebody that said they were going to crazy glue them all together and just have them as figures on their desk or whatever. But whatever. I've graduated. Well, most of these are HGs, but I do have an RG, which is... yeah, I got the RG. I got a couple RGs, a couple HGs. No, actually, they're all HGs. 4 of them are HGs, and 1 of them's an RG. So, I want to get back into it because they're robots, and I love Gundam. They're mechs, and I love mechs. So, I want to get back into it, and especially with Unicorn Gundam. I found them, and I was like, ooh. I would like to get the Master Grade. I know these are like the real grade, and I forget what H grade is. It doesn't say. I'm sorry. Don't yell at me if you're a Gundam person. I just get them because they're cool looking, and that's what I go. I look at them and I say, ooh, that's cool. I want that, so I buy it. And that's how I work. I don't need to know the history of Gundam. I've watched Gundam many, many moons ago. But I do like the Gundam figures. Some of them are really outrageous. Some of them are really cool. So that's what I'm going to do. Other big news that came just last week. This has a release date. This has a release date. Do you know what this is? MetalWolf Chaos XD. I actually ordered the pin. I was not going to order the $200 statue because it doesn't look like an action figure. And I really am not too much on statues. I mean, I like them, but I don't see spending $200 for this thing. And, well, right now I don't have that kind of cash. So, anyway, it is coming out August 6th is the release date for PC, Xbox, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and that's it, I think. Yeah, PC, Xbox, PS4. It's not coming out for the Switch. It would be cool to walk around and play that, but, maybe they might make a future port to it, but I don't know. But, yeah, we're getting it. I'm excited. I literally, the day that they announced it, I right away went on to PS4 and pre-ordered it. So it will be downloading on August 6th, and I will be playing it immediately. And maybe I'll do a stream, because this game came out in 2004 on the original Xbox, which is sitting back there. And I read something that it was going to possibly come to the West. I cannot vouch what magazine I read it on, but it did state that it was supposed to come sometime, possibly, and I mean possibly, and I put that in quotes, it was possibly going to come to the West, but it never did. It was only released in Japan. Maybe they pulled it and just cut it, and just maybe there was rumors that it was going to come out, but I swore that I read somewhere that they said that it was possibly going to come to the West, but it didn't. So it was a Japanese game, and guess what? If you want an original copy for the Xbox, the original Xbox, be ready to pay $200 to $300 for the fucker. It's a little insane, if you ask me. I just was like, no. I did find actually Etsy had bootleg versions of it, and I was gonna buy myself one because it was only $20, but you needed a modded Xbox, and I'm like, I don't know nothing about modding an Xbox, and I was not going to pay for somebody to rip my Xbox apart and mod it and then have it break on me in 2 weeks. So, yeah, I just, when they announced, Devolver announced that this game was coming out back in 2018, I stayed patient. I think it was 17 they announced it. I was just patient. No, it was 2018. I'm sorry. I was patient and I waited. And then it got pushed in 2019, and we're finally going to get it on August 6th. So if you're interested in it, I know it's going for $24.99 on PS4, so it's probably the same price all the way around. Pre-orders are going up, and you can get this really cool theme, I know, for PS4 that goes on your background. So, yeah, immediately I bought it and got that free theme. My PlayStation 4 is covered in, it's covered in nothing but MetalWolf Chaos, so I'm excited about that. And that, right now, is probably all I have to talk about. Besides, I don't know. Yeah, I'm wearing No Man's Sky. Sue me. I want to get back into it. Like I said, probably I will do VR, and possibly will even be streaming it. So I'll be streaming it on YouTube here. Maybe possibly. I'm not even going to worry about Twitch because it's just too much hassle. So I'm going to be probably streaming it once it comes out for the VR, and I might be playing it. Don't expect like a whole chain of them. Maybe a couple episodes. Maybe I might just do one long sitting with No Man's Sky VR and just cut them up into maybe half-hour, episodes. That reminds me. By the way, if you see a bunch of videos that just came up, I apologize. Those are old videos that were sitting in my video, what do they call it? It just says videos, but it was sitting in my videos. They were all privatized or unlisted, so I made them all listed. And even the first No Man's Sky, the first episode that I ever did when it was released. So yeah, I was excited. You could tell that I was excited. And I put over 700 hours into that game. So, I mean, yeah, I was excited about that game. And that was that time. So my son was downstairs, I think, and I was videotaping it. I think I streamed it, and then what I did was after it streamed, I saved the video and I just, put it unlisted, or I put it private. So I got rid of a lot of videos that were, I didn't want the RobPod podcast to have like stupid vlogs and stuff like that. So I just did something basic. So yes, there's a whole bunch of new videos. Most of them are Borderlands 2. I had like 8 of them up or 9 of them up, and then I just found like, I don't know, 6 more. So I just put them up there. You're bored, you want to watch something, there you go. And then I have the No Man's Sky, the first episode from when it was vanilla. So again, even somebody was like, oh, you have to do this. After I made it public, yeah, I was like, oh, this guy thinks that I just started today. No, I started this when it first came out. But he should have known that when he was watching it, because it was like the countdown to when it was released. Go watch it, you'll see. But, yeah, and I got a little too overexcited, and I screamed out very loud, here we go! I was like, oh boy. But I put it up anyway because it does have relevance to video games and such. And my copy from Limited Run Games of Toe Jam and Earl's coming. The special or collector's edition. As you can see over here, well, you can't see, I have a ton, and you've probably seen the video, but I have a ton of these sitting over here. So yeah, I'm gonna get things going, but I'm possibly going to be doing some not reviews, but I'm going to be doing builds I have all the tools. I have the mat. Why not hook up the camera, move some things around, and use either this table or the other table, the glass table. And we can just talk if you come in, and I just build Gundams. I like them clean. I'm not too over-exaggerated, too freaking crazy. I do want to get the markers, because what I was thinking with the Gundam markers, I'd like to buy like a couple black ones and just do, the outlines. Like, outline the panels and such that are on these and just give it highlights. But I'm going to play around with it, and I have another big idea when the toy side is completed to my liking, and I'm done with that. Because, again, we had tons of shit that was going on with me. A lot of repairing and refurbishing, if you want to say. I have a gate that, not a gate, but a railing that has to be fixed, too, on our deck. So I have to figure that out, because this is how it's supposed to be. It's kind of like this, because there's not enough supports, and they should have bolted it like it was before. They should have bolted it into the house, because they use the studs that are on the corner of the house and drilled a big nice bolt into it. It was like a lag nut screw type. So I got to go buy another one and screw it in there real quick and put an L angle on it, to lock it in, and voila, done. And it should bring it from this to this and straighten it up. So that's what I'm going to do. I got that to do. Yay! As I bang the microphone like I always do. Oh, well. So, yeah, there's a lot of ideas that I'm going to probably implement in the future. And I've done a lot of work today, so I'm very sore right now. I got arthritis in my pinky. It goes click every time I close it. You can't hear it. But it's like in the morning. If I use it a lot, it doesn't click. But I go to bed, and I wake up in the morning, and it goes. So I got arthritis, or something has the juicy part, meat, whatever, in the knuckle down here is all messed up. But that's for another day. Yay! So this has been the RobPod podcast. I apologize that this was a short one. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't check how long this is. But I have lots to come and lots to do. I know this was kind of more like blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, get Jetfire Siege's Transformers Siege Jetfire. It is a very, very good figure. Hasbro's listening to us. I mean, I am kind of nitpicky with buying figures now. I just don't buy the whole set just because for the sake of buying the whole set. I pick what I want to pick, and then I buy. So I don't need a 17th version of Ironhide, and I don't need a 20th version of, Prow or something, But they're doing a hell of a job. This is my second Jetfire, or maybe my third. I don't know. I have a lot of iterations of Jetfire. Jetfire meant a lot to me because that was like one of the first Transformers that I got when I was a child. And I remember that day. It was Christmas Day. Screw it. We're going to keep going. It was Christmas Day back in 1993, maybe 94. And the first Transformer I ever opened was G1 Thundercracker. I love Thundercracker. Even though he's a bad guy, I love Thundercracker. I can't remember the other ones that I opened. Megatron was one, which then eventually my mother, with the old school vacuum cleaners, ripped both of his freaking legs off. And you know how vacuum cleaners were back in the 80s, man. Them things would run it. They would suck up everything, and that's what happened. It got caught in between the roller, so his legs actually got caught up and jammed up and then ripped right off. And I had Megatron was one of them, and then Thundercracker was my first one that I opened. So that was the first one that I ripped open and couldn't believe it, and was like, oh my god, I got a Transformer. After that was Megatron. And then I think Mirage, that's who it was. It was Mirage. So I got Mirage, which was another one, and I'd love to get the G1 of that again, or a Masterpiece version of I know there's a couple. I think Mastermind Creation put out one, or maybe not. I'm trying to think who put out a... God, I'm burping like crazy. Mirage version. As I'm going to take a drink of my beverage of my iced tea. Pardon me. So, after I opened Mirage, it was Jetfire. I got freaking Jetfire. I couldn't believe it. Now, my mom and dad tried, and I mean they really tried, to get me an Optimus Prime. No luck. Optimus Prime was sold out. I think I might have got some other ones that I can't remember who. But I know that definitely Thundercracker, Mirage, Megatron, and Jetfire. Those were my big ones. And then on my birthday, the next year, I got Metroplex. Never got a lot of the ones that I really want. And remember, my father was the only one that was working at the time. He was a firefighter. And there were four of us. So there was me, who's the oldest, and then two brothers and a sister, and that's basically how it works, you know. Not much money coming in, but we were comfortable, and that's all that really mattered. We weren't poor or anything of that sort. So, but that was one of my fond memories, and, you know, this is actually a really good Jetfire. Is it a G1 Jetfire? Hell no. But it's what we've been asking for, and we finally got one that's it's proper size to a point. But, I mean, you got these scale nerds out there, and I'm sorry if you're a scale nerd, but I am to a point. I mean, I have Mastermind Creations, not a Devastator, but he's a really great design, and I can't put him fighting, you know, when Wai Zhang's, you know, Omega Supreme, because it's like this. So that wouldn't work in scale, and I understand that. And I never was able to get the Hasbro Devastator, so they just gone, you know. And every time, I think at the time Toys R Us was still open when they were out, and I tried everywhere. And then all of a sudden, they're asking like $300-400 for them now, and it's like, no. So I'll wait and I'll find something. I know NBK, I think it is, has an oversized one, and he's about 18 inches. So I think he's 18 inches. So I might just pick him up. I don't know. But, yeah, there's just, you know, I think he's a good figure. I don't, you know, okay, yeah, he doesn't have ankle tilt. Is that a deal breaker? Well, for some of you idiots out there, it is, but for me, it isn't. I mean, he looks badass. He has, you know, I'm not really too fond with the whole face. I don't understand why everybody's like, oh, it's Skyfire. No, I like the OG G1 face, you know, and this comes somewhat close to that idea. They can't completely mimic it because they'll get sued, but it's close enough, and I love it, and I'll take it. Count me in, you know. But yeah, some of these people are like going for the, I forget what it's called, Phoenix, FT Phoenix or something, but the fans' toys I'm not interested in, and the prices that it's going for, I'm like, I'm picky. I'm going to just keep doing the picky stuff, but I have a ton of figures, so it's not like, you know, I got a lot of work over there, but I got a lot of work over here, and there, and there, and there. It's like, it never ends for me. But yeah, that was one of my fond discussions on Transformers, and I actually enjoy the Jetfire, Siege Jetfire. I think it's a wonderful figure. It has its problem. The one problem being that you really can't take all. I don't think you can take off the back. No, it's stuck to them. That's not a problem though. I'm not worried about that. But the ankle tilt, that's kind of eh. Some people, that would be a deal breaker immediately. Yeah, I don't see an ankle tilt whatsoever. Nah, unless something unlocks here. No, I don't see an ankle tilt. So, yeah, there's no ankle tilt. There we go. Open this up. Oh, what the heck? Oh. Yeah, there's no ankle tilt. As you can see. Hold on, I'll bring this closer. So it's a shame, that we're not getting an ankle tilt, but hey, I think it's still a pretty damn good figure. I am not going to complain. Now I gotta figure out how to get this back in. There we go. I haven't transformed him yet, too. I'm slow when it comes to transformations. In a sense that I don't want to transform it. I want to look and enjoy the robot version of it. And then I'll go get to transforming. I know a lot of the toys over there. And you know what? I'm going to keep it quiet. But a lot of the figures, you know what? I'll give that much out. But a lot of the figures that I'm going to be, when I get finished, there's going to be some that are going to be transforming their robot mode. Some of them are going to be transforming their vehicle mode. I like it that way. So, yeah, sure, I'm going to do it, and that's how I'm going to do it. Some people do it. Some people have them all transformed into vehicle mode, and some people have them all transformed into their robot form, so as they say, it's your toy. You do what you feel, what you want to do with it, because it's your collection, and you love it for the reason that you love it. So, with that, video game streams, possibly some builds on the Gundams, because I bought 4 of these three of them I bought many moons ago, like I would say 6 months ago, and I just bought 2 more, and why not? Let's do it. Let's get it all done. Let's throw some videos up there. It'd be nice, and I could talk to people and talk to you, and come on, and maybe we'll do it at night, and I'll do it on a Friday or a Saturday, so crack open a beer, sit back, talk to me about toys, talk to me about robots, talk to me about whatever you want. It's your option, and I'll be glad to speak with you. But otherwise than that, I thank you for joining me and for the RobPod podcast. I'll see you all on the flip side. Later.